And today my adventure begins right here on the outskirts of Waycross, Georgia. I'm here at the Southern Forest World Tree and Forestry Museum. Well, good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch Hiking Yeti here. Got some merch on today. My shirt. This thing is very light and comfortable. This is gonna be great because it's gonna be pretty steamy today here in Southern Georgia as I make my way toward Florida. There's a little small town we're gonna stop at later on toward the end of the vlog and check it out because there is an abundance of trains. Dozens of trains pass through this town every single day as they travel through Florida and out of Florida. We're going to stop there and check that out. But first, I want to stop right here at the Southern Forest World to go check in on a very interesting animal that is mummified inside. Let's get started. So the main reason I'm here today is to see this mummified dog that they have inside of this place. So the story goes back in the 1960s, a hunting dog is believed to have chased a small animal such as a raccoon into a hollow base of a large chestnut tree. As the dog climbed upward inside the trunk, became very narrow and trapped the animal. Unable to turn around and climb back down, the dog died inside the tree. Decades later, loggers cut the tree down and discovered the dog's natural mummified remains inside the hollowed out trunk. The dry airflow within the tree helped preserve the body rather than allowing it to decompose. So the dog was eventually named Stucky after a public naming contest and has been displayed inside the section of the original tree that he was found in here at the Southern Forest World Museum. So let's go on inside and say hello to Stucky. All right, I am inside the museum now. This place is really cool looking. And the woman that took my money, it was $8 to get in. She's actually going to come over here and open up the tree and let us look at Stucky.
You have to imagine this tree was standing. So it was sawed down, sawed up, and already loaded on the trailer. And the guy told me, he said, I got off for one reason, just to make sure that I had loaded my wood right.
Right.
He said, when I seen calls, he said, I stopped and said, oh my God, what's fixing to come out of here?
That is unreal. So I was reading online, the main reason it was so well preserved is because how the air flowed inside and didn't allow him to decompose. Is that?
No, but the main thing was because this is an oak tree. This is a chestnut oak.
Right.
All your oak trees has acid in it.
Right.
So the acid of the tree is actually what mummified him.
That is so unbelievable. I have read about this and seen this thing before, but just to be here and see it.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. There we go. Now we can see him. Got my light. Whoops. There we go. Check that out. You can actually see the ribs on the dog. All right, that was really awesome. All right, and this here is on the opposite end of the log. And right there is the keister of Stucky. All right, I want to say so long to Stucky. A really interesting story. And now we're going to kind of peruse around. The woman who runs this place pretty much said there is an old bald cypress outside that we can get a kind of a point of view of how Stucky felt inside the tree. So we're going to head out there momentarily and check that out. But first, we are going to go up the steps inside of this tree right here. It's kind of cool in there. It's illuminated. It's very dark inside of this tree, even though we do have some lights illuminating, but it does smell palm fresh, and I just figured out why. Because they have a little air freshener in here. It says Little Trees, Royal Pines. So this is pretty cool. So now I'm upstairs and they have like a exhibit here for the paper mill industry, which is really big time here in eastern Georgia. Got different saws and stuff that they use to cut down trees. Some cool stuff. Right over here, if we look down, we can see where we was earlier. Right down there is Stucky inside of that tree. Right over here, we have another exhibit, Forest Industry Impact. We also have some items right here behind us. All these items that we're looking at here has wood in it. And some people don't think, when you see body wash or sunscreen or hair remover, even chewing gum and toothpaste, they do have agents in them that is made from wood. And some people comes here, they say, well, why do you have space stuff like NASA stuff here? That's because all plastics have wood in it. And you know, it's NASA. When you're going to space, you got some plastics on board. So that is the reason why you have an exhibit with all kinds of NASA and astronaut stuff. You can even take a picture where you look like an astronaut. Okay, I'm back outside now. I want to go out here and check out this tree where we can finagle our way onto the inside of it. Jokingly, she said, don't get stuck. But this is it. Look at this old cypress tree. Diameter is 106 inches. Okay, let's go inside. Make sure there's no snakes around. Probably should have done that before I walked in. But this is what the inside of a old cypress looks like. That's us looking up. And you know, this is probably what Stucky's seen right at the end. I don't know. That was a bad joke, wasn't it? Sorry, Stucky. No harm, my friend. Okay, so right there is the tree that we just, you know, walked inside and looked around. That's pretty cool. But this here is the outdoor area. We got some slides over here for children. Got a little idea house where kids can play in there and count numbers. They got all kinds of little games in there. Now I'm not standing out here long because this is Georgia, it's July. As you can imagine, there's a lot of bugs flying around, and once you're out here for a little bit, they get to want to know you really well. So just wanted to give you a little idea of what the grounds look like here. So all that being said, I'm gonna duck back inside, and then we're gonna probably just leave from here and drive to a little small town toward the Georgia and Florida border that I have always wanted to go see. Well, I was fixing to leave, and the nice lady here showed me they had a fire tower here that's pretty cool that they just recently opened up. Here's a little information. The fire tower at Southern Forest World here in Waycross, Georgia, is a historic structure originally built in 1908, and it was on the Brasstown Bald Mountain, which is the highest point in Georgia. And it was actually gifted by the Georgia Forestry Commission in 1978. There is a key feature of the museum's education exhibits of forestry. So we have been given the go-ahead to go up this thing. Now, people who watch this channel knows the last time I did a video in North Carolina and I went up in a fire tower on a mountaintop, that I was like, yeah, I ain't never doing this again. But today, never say never. We're gonna go up this one because of it is very structurally secure. She added, she said, everything's good. It's totally safe. It's not that tall because the mountain it was on was so tall. So it didn't have to be extremely, you know, as high as some of the ones that I've climbed. So we're going to make our way on up and experience this. And the good thing is, as I walk up, I'm noticing no gnats up here, no bugs, no mosquitoes. You want to watch your head. Look at that. I'm about 6 foot. So if you come here, definitely be careful with your noggin. And that's interesting. No climbing. I'm thinking it means on the railing, which is completely understandable. But this is what it looks like at the top, which back in the 70s, if you would have climbed this, would have been a beautiful view because I think she told me you could see 4 states from the top of this tower. But now you just see a lot of pine trees. Okay, so this area that we're in is Okefenokee Swamp. What a cool name. Oh, look, someone's got a 360 camera up here. Yeah, looks like an Insta 360. I have one of those. So let's go ahead and make it down the old fire tower now and start driving toward the town of Folkston. And now I'm headed out of Waycross here on US 1 South toward Folkston. And the nice lady back at the museum definitely warned me. She said, be careful because yellow flies are out in the Okefenokee Swamp area. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'm not stopping, just driving through. All right, I have made it to Folkston, Georgia. Gateway to the Okefenokee, even though that's where I come from. But I know what they meant. We'll go up here and walk around this town that is steeped in some railroad history. It's going to be fun. So let's begin with a little history about Folkston. It all began as a railroad stop. In 1881, the Savannah and Florida Western Railroad built a station here in town. And at first, the settlement was simply called the station. Homes, stores, and businesses quickly sprang up around the depot, transforming the area into a growing community. And right here is the Folkston City Hall. Okay, and right here's some signage on the side of this brick wall located at 3919 Main Street, McKinney Medical Center, Inc. Family practice, walk-ins, welcome. And that kind of segues in to how this town received its name. It's actually named after Dr. William Brandon Folks, who was a prominent physician from nearby Waycross, is where we just left. He was well known throughout the southeast Georgia area. All right, so I made my way down here to the Folkston County Courthouse because it's just very awesome looking. It looks very similar to anyone who is a fan of Back to the Future. Look at that clock up there, very reminiscent. So I wanted to walk down here just to kind of tell you that Folkston became the county seat way back in 1901. Folkston actually replaced a place called Trader's Hill, which I'm not privy to, as the county seat of Charlton County. This move established Folkston as the county's commercial and governmental center. So during the early 1900s, hotels, banks, schools, and brick commercial buildings were constructed as rail traffic and the timber industry here in the area really fueled the economy. The historic Citizens Bank and the courthouse still reflect that prosperous time. So little did I know that Folkston is known as the marriage capital of the world. For many years, Folkston became famous because couples from Florida crossed the state line to marry. Florida once required a waiting period for marriage license, while Georgia did not, making Folkston a popular destination for quick weddings. So next up, let's talk about population. Population here in Folkston is 4,984 people with a median age of 38. And now let's take a look at demographics. 43.11% is white, 44.14% is black, 1.46% is Asian, 0.27% is American Indian, 0.27% is Native Hawaiian, 6.9% is mixed race, and 3.85% is other race. Then let's look at the income index. Income per capita here in Folkston is $19,263, well below the Georgia and the national average. Median household income is $36,026. Once again, that's way below Georgia and the national average. Scroll down a bit and let's check out the poverty level here. 38.9%. Wow, that's a shocker. I was not expecting that. That is really, really high. Well above the 17.8% of Georgia and definitely the 15.1% of the US. Okay, so next up, let's look at crime. Crime here in Folkston is not bad at all. Only 549 per 100,000 people. That is excellent crime number. That is super, super low. As you can see, only 26 incidents reported in the last year. So when we look at that in percentages, total crime here in Folkston is 74% below the national average. Violent crime is 82% below the national average. And property crime is 72% below the national average. Okay, I'm standing here on the corner of First Street and Main Street here in the town square. And this is a very epic, older looking building, right? That old drink cola sign up there, Coca-Cola, Folkston Pharmacy. It dates back to 1908, making it about 118 years old here in 2026. It was opened by Dr. Adrian Dallas Williams, one of the town's first physicians and pharmacists during the Folkston's early years of growth. Look at that old Zenith radio right there in the window. As you can see, we already had one train pass through. That's because Folkston is a paradise for train watchers. Today, the town's most famous attraction is a little area known as the Folkston Funnel, where two major rail lines merge into one. Around 60 trains can pass through a busy day, making it one of the premier rail fan destinations in the southeastern U.S. As a matter of fact, right here is a sign pointing us in the direction of the famous viewing platform here in town. Let's go down there and check it out. Okay, I've made my way over here to the viewing platform. And that's what people do here for fun. They just come up here and sit on this platform and got their smartphones out until another train passes through. It's like a little viewing area. They do have some fans up there. Yeah, and right there you can see the ceiling fans making a nice little breeze. You can just sit here in the shade and hopefully wait for some trains to come by. This is what it looks like from the viewing platform. And I guess right down there is where these two tracks will actually funnel and come together as one. And that's what makes this place so prominent. The Folkston Funnel. As you can see, right there is the viewing platform where we was just at. And I just wanted to walk out here just to let you see both of the tracks side by side. And I said earlier, I thought they funneled together pretty close over here, but no, not the case. Don't know where the funneling actually starts. It's got to be pretty close by. You can see those two tracks, as far as I can see, they're side by side like a drag strip. But really cool little visit today. And I like it, the name of that street that takes you over to the parking for the viewing platform is actually called the Folkston Funnel Street. Okay, so I made my way over here to the old train station, the old depot, if you will. It says Folkston, Georgia on it. Folkston was founded because of the railroad, as we talked about earlier. In 1881, the Savannah, Florida and Western Railway built a station, this one, that was just mostly wilderness around it. The community that grew around the depot was first just called simply the station. So this right here is pretty much the birth spot of what we now know as Folkston, Georgia. And that right there is an old railroad crossing sign. That thing is pretty rusted up. And you know what? I love it. But we're right here at the gateway to the old Okefenokee Swamp and Park region. And this guy right here, or guys like this, real ones, this here is just a, you know, a fake alligator, but man, that thing is huge. But they're supposed to be big boys in there just like this guy. Okay, so right here on Main Street is a mural. Greetings from Folkston. That is really cool. Got an Indian on there, train hauling some timber. That is really awesome. But all that being said, I think that's going to pretty much do it for me today, because it is getting super hot right now. It is well up into the 90s, and I still have some driving to do today. So I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for watching the video and coming along with me on these little fun journeys. Love coming to the South. Deep South is a lot of fun. So all that being said, I'm done today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure.